It's England, Jamaica, live from the Copper Box Arena. I'm joined by Tamsin Greenway and Pamela Cookie. This is the Nations Cup. It's the start of a new international 4-year cycle. And whoever wins this game will play New Zealand tomorrow in the final. Let's get straight to team news, starting with Jamaica. And Pam, over to you. What do you make of this side?
Yeah, pretty much how they've started this tournament in terms of Janine Fowler as goal shooter alongside Shanice Beckford. I really want to see Beckford do a little bit more in that goal attack position. She can be a really strong playmaker for them. She needs to help out feeding. Nicole Dixon at centre has been standout for me. She's really come on in that position. She's a great feed-in. And Shamira Sterling at goal defence. We're not used to seeing her at goal defence. There's always goalkeeper, but how she's come out and worked in partnership with her keepers has been really strong in defence. On attack, a little bit more work needed in terms of her control.
Who will Sterling be up against? Kadeen Corbin. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a big call, isn't it? And look, there is no doubt in my mind when Kadeen's on, her athleticism, her creativity, her shooting is on point. However, we've seen across this tournament, she doesn't always have the consistency to warrant that starting position. She will need to do that today against Sterling. For me, though, the game will be won between Laura Malcolm, Jay Clark and Kate Shimmin. If they stop that Jamaican attack line, which I feel they will stop the ball going into Fowler. But Kadeen, you know, she's got a point to prove.
OK, let's get the thoughts of the England head coach, Jess Thirlby.
Jess, we've seen your starting 7. One major change for you. Kadeen Corbin comes back in at goal attack. Why is this the right game to start again?
I just think after each performance, we press the reset button. We know each style of team is very different. Kadeen's very dynamic. She's played against Jamaica before, and we think it's really important with Shamira playing out more just to keep her entertained, and hopefully we can get the ball into Elle.
And it is a winner-takes-all, isn't it? I mean, how good to have a game of kind of such magnitude so early in your reign.
Yeah, we were really pleased after Wednesday that we'd afforded ourselves the chance for what is really a semi-final for us, and that's how we're treating it. Like you say, it's knockout netball, and I've said from the get-go in this role that we need to get this group of players in as many of these opportunities as we can. So I'm really looking forward to their buzzing. They were hyped on Wednesday. So yeah, semi-final time, and we're looking forward to it. Good luck. Thank you.
Buzzing and hyped after beating South Africa by 4 goals on Wednesday. Pam, as a former England goal attack, what are your thoughts on Kadeen Corbin starting in that position?
Well, after Sundays, it wasn't really a lot of the errors we talked about them making unforced errors. A lot did come from Kadeen, but as Tamsin was saying, when she's on fire, she's unstoppable. And so if she can just get into that mindset where she is doing all the things well, she is in control of that speed and that flair, she is turning to post and putting those shots up and getting them in, she is really difficult to beat. So she needs to start that game today in that mindset, and I think if she can do that, then England stand a really good chance of beating Jamaica.
Where do you like Ellie Cardwell?
Ellie Cardwell, its shooter, has been really solid. I've actually been really impressed with her. She's taken her opportunity. She's stood up to international pressure and showed what a force she can be under the post. I think she got found out at goal attack on Wednesday, which is why Thirlby's looked at this Corbin combination, because your only other cover is Haythornthwaite in there, really. So, you know, she is much stronger in the shooter position. And like we say, if Kadeen can rein in those unforced errors, and they are unforced, you know, but she's had lots of opportunities. So I want to see her today, as Pam said, with a cool, calm head, show us what she can do, not overkill it. Let Haythornthwaite be the creative player, let Cardwell post up, and use her cut and drives and her athleticism and speed to open up that serve.
Is this a risk at all, putting her there, goal attack at the start, or is this an opportunity, the Nations Cup, to try out these new combinations? And does the win really matter?
Bit of both. If you're looking at trying out combinations and getting people experience, you would have put Sophie Draper-Lewis out there, up and coming in goal attack, who you haven't seen much at international level, and see how she fares. In terms of when Kadeen is experienced, she's had a lot of caps under her belt, so if Jess is looking for someone to start this game with experience, then Kadeen could be that. But I would have liked to see Sophie Draper-Lewis out there, because we haven't seen her before, looking to the future.
They have to win today, because they need to make the final, and that's the difference. And when you talk about experience, look at that lineup. Amy Carter, outstanding on Wednesday. I wanted to see her start again, but you brought Jay Clark in there. So you can see this is Thirlby's clear plan. It's an experienced side. She's expecting this team to perform, take them home for the win so they can make the final tomorrow.
OK, well, one of the star players of the Jamaican side, who we've spoken about already, is Shamira Sterling. And after their last game, Caroline Barker sat down with her, and she didn't hold back.
First things first, we've got to talk about the shoes, apparently. So one orangey pink and one, I mean, you're probably the fashionista. What colours are they?
One is neon orange, one is blue. Just trying to be unique. Yeah, so the Jamaicans always try to be different. We always bring a different playing style and all of that. So that's just what we're trying to bring across.
Sitting on and watching you, when we saw that first game in the Nations Cup, we thought, right, this is the Jamaica we've been waiting for. The structure, the discipline, right?
Well, South Africa haven't beaten Jamaica in a while other than the World Cup. So we were determined enough to come here and say, look, South Africa is not going to get that win off us again. They're below us. They're not supposed to be getting a win over us. So we just came and fought to the end.
Selby Rickett will be able to put the icing on the cake for the Silver Ferns. They have been imperious here against Jamaica. Absolutely outstanding.
We didn't adjust to what New Zealand gave to us, and we didn't adjust like one bit of it, and they gave us the zone which we were unable to break, but we'll come hard again next time and we'll know what to do against New Zealand.
But tell me about if there has been a change between you as a team under Connie and what we saw at the World Cup.
She's a very disciplined coach, and that's what she brings to the team. I think World Cup was one of the worst tour, very embarrassing for us because we have never played Zimbabwe in a 5th and 6th position as we have never been there. So it was quite a bit embarrassing. 4th place Jamaica playing for 5th and 6th position at the World Cup. So it was just unfortunate for us, but we look forward to the next World Cup under Connie Francis.
Going into this England game then, some of these players quite well. Layla Gusketh, of course.
Yeah, Layla is my right hand. Well, when we're at Thunderbirds, she matches my style. Well, her parents is from Caribbean background and I'm from the Caribbean. So she knows a little bit about what Caribbean is like, and she's the only one that will understand my Jamaican Creole and all of that. So it's good. I'm comfortable around Layla because she understands me.
Just finally then, coming into England this weekend, what are their weaknesses and what will you bring?
I think I've not analysed this English team because it's kind of a bit different, but I think George Fisher is very strong and she's the type of holder shooter that we need to look out for. She's accurate as well as Eleanor, and I've not really seen much of Jade at centre than I've seen her at wing defence. So I think Jade plays a better wing defence than a centre, but she's a very, she plays dirty. Yeah,
oh, really?
Jade plays very dirty. Nat Hayes-Andrews is a very good wing attack. She's very quick.
And what can we expect from you at the weekend?
Well, I'm here playing a goal defence I've never played before on the international level, but I'll do my best and I will not allow England to outrun us. England is Jamaica's biggest rivalry, so we'll bring it and they'll bring it and may the best team win.
Shamira Sterling, one of these standout characters in the netball world. She says Jade Clark plays dirty. Tamsin,
Do you want me to comment on that?
over to you.
I have played many Jamaican sides over the past. I'm just going to leave it there. I've also played a lot of wing defences, and again, I'm going to stop right there.
Before we get into any trouble, what does she bring to the side?
She's a superstar, isn't she? From that back, how she reads the game, her athleticism, I always talk about that, how she uses her body in right, but she's quick off the mark as well. She gets her feet round so that she's not contacting at times to get those interceptions.
She's so awkward to play against.
So you can't really hold on her because she's always moving around, and that's the strength that she has and what she brings to this team, and then she lifts them from the back. She's young, she's fearless, she's got that swag about her.
Oh, she's a star, an absolute star, and she's kind of brought international netball to life again. We're talking about these world stars. There's not many players in other teams that you sort of gravitate towards. You do with Sterling. You just love watching her play. You love her instep. You love how cool and composed she is out on the court. And actually, the sort of the swag that Pam said, she gets a lot of stick for sort of her comments to the umpires and her sort of her face at times. But I love that about her. That kind of grit that she'll do anything to try and win the game.
Yeah, we need these personalities, don't we, to grow the sport?
Yes, we can't have everybody smiling away doing the nice stuff all the time. brilliant. More of that from Sterling, please.
What do you want to see from the mid-court from Jamaica?
We talked about their attack not being too strong. They haven't been able to gel or bring it, but Dixon in that centre, if she can be that playmaker, linking in with the defensive end coming into attack and feeding Fowler, not just launching it in from the centre third, work the ball up closer to the goal and put it in. That's what I want to see from the attack, just being a little bit more clinical with their possession.
I think the problem with the long ball into Fowler is if there's other options on, it's fine. It's when they're doing it because it is the only option. That's a problem, and that's when teams will eat it alive. And someone like Francis today will be sort of rubbing her hands together with some of those feeds that have been going in. She'll be looking at her intercept count, I'm sure.
Can't wait to watch Stacey Francis. Jess Thirlby said that after every game they reset. What does that mean, Pam? Why do they reset? Surely it's a continuation of development.
I would agree with you that in terms of it should be a continuation. You learn from all your past games. I can only assume it means that they just take stock of what's gone before and they start the next game again from scratch. That's what I can assume, but I'll have to ask Jess.
What about yourself, Samson?
Yeah, look, I think what she's looking at here is she's giving her team opportunities. So just because you don't perhaps have the best performance, you wouldn't just totally cut her out. She knows what Kadeen Corbin can do. She knows what other players out there can do, and she's putting trust in those players to go out and reset. However, what I'd like to see is the progression through this tournament as well. And whilst you could go away and almost do some work in training, I think through the week you do have to judge who's been performing, who's on point, and who's actually going to get you out there and get the performance you need.
Well, Jamaica beat South Africa on match day 1, 59-54. We were really impressed with them then, but then they lost out to New Zealand on Wednesday when we were in Birmingham, 71-45. A heavy defeat, Pam. It will have knocked their confidence.
Yeah, definitely, especially after the strong start we saw on Sunday. But for them again, I think it's England. Whenever Jamaica play England, everything goes out the window and they start again. And especially with England playing against the home crowd, they're going to want to get one back.
It's pretty electric in here.
It's going to be England are just walking out, and this is a game I think Pam was talking about there, about England-Jamaica. It's so much history between these two teams. Don't take for granted what happened against New Zealand with Jamaica. Look, they didn't handle the zone well, they didn't handle that defence. You heard Shamira Sterling talking about that, but they kind of just dropped off. The game was gone, it was finished. It won't be like that today. They will do anything to take the win off England.
As we wait for the national anthems here at the Copper Box Arena. hat-trick. England up against Jamaica. Whoever wins this game plays New Zealand in the final of the Nations Cup tomorrow. Let's get straight to commentary and join Catherine Merry.
Thank you very much indeed, Di. Indeed, a winner takes all here on Saturday in the Copper Box in London. England and Jamaica. They last met at the World Cup. England won that last year in July in Liverpool. The 73rd meeting of these two teams. England have won 44. Pamela Cookie, let's refresh our viewers around the world. The starting seven from Jess Selby.
Yeah, we've got Ellie Cardwell in at goal shooter, Kadeen at goal attack. And that combination, this team actually started the very first match on Sunday when they lost to New Zealand. But how can they, as Jess says, reset and come out fresh today? For Jamaica, Shamira Sterling, for me, standout player, again playing at goal defence. This team again also started in game one in Nottingham, and where they won against South Africa.
So the familiar face of Jay Clark, England's most capped ever player, 175th cap today for Miss Clark, picking up the ball. The Copper Box is rocking. England take on Jamaica for a place in the Vitality Netball Nations Cup final tomorrow. A count back from the fans here, 6,000 of them crammed into the London arena. The familiar ponytail of Haythornthwaite starting in that wing attack position.
She's been really relishing that captain's role and trying to lead from the front. And I think really solid at wing attack.
So you heard from Shamira Sterling, the goal defence for Jamaica, earlier on, saying they didn't adjust to the New Zealand game, and England are making them pay attention and adjust now as England go first up on the board.
Oh, great off the mark there from Francis, but no one else around her to help pick it up. And Beckford doesn't miss many under that post.
Stacey Francis in that goalkeeper position, having a wonderful Nations Cup, now back in the England Roses fold. Haythornthwaite looking for space. There's that flair, that dynamic nature of Kadeen Corbin that Jess Thirlby talked about in that goal attack position. Jamaica, though, defending well early doors into the hands of Ellie Cardwell.
Yeah, and really making them have to work to get into that circle. But Ellie Cardwell, another player for England who's stood out over these games for the Nations Cup.
Contact, we attack.
So the mixture of youth and experience for these four nations, four of the top 5 nations in the world competing in this inaugural Nations Cup. And so far, Pamela Cookie, former England shooter extraordinaire, it's goal for goal.
It is, yeah, strong from both teams, just taking care of their possession, getting it down and into the goal.
So England's first game, that loss against New Zealand, 64-48. England won just one quarter of that match. The second one yet to win an opening quarter in the Nations Cup. They're going to want to start strong. Corbin, first attempt under the poster. A nerve settler for the Maverick star.
Indeed, as you say, a good settler there for her. It's always good as a shooter to just get your first one in, and well as well. Didn't even hit the sides.
Oh, the reach, the take of Fowler. That goal shooter position. She's always going to start for Jamaica. It's whether she wants to or not. She's never going to be left out.
No, their best shooter by far.
She was the second highest shooter at the World Cup last year, netting 304 goals. Janelle Fowler, and gets her account up and running. 3 goals apiece then, a nice lively start here. The take again from Captain Fowler. And they now have the lead.
Sorry, Kathy. Yep, first turnover off England's centre pass. And it's now theirs to see if they can back it up. So close there from Shipping. Great work. England get the turnover. You saw Stacey Francis come out early hunting to put that pressure on the ball. But England can't make it count. Look here. Stacey came back and Shimon getting right backing up and getting the contact call.
So Jamaica have to try again. Sterling, speed with the ball, settling into this match here. That high ball again into the hands of Fowler, and she's not going to miss.
No, so nice, loopy. She's not just got the height, she's then got the arms again, which make it really difficult for any keeper. So the pressure needs to put on higher up the court.
With the wing defender.
Clark into Corbin.
Advantage offside, wing.
Making the decision to try and pass it into the hands of Ellie Cardwell. England get another bite of the sporting cherry. Bounce pass to Clark.
Good use at the top of the circle, just to open out the space, change up the angle. Clark was able to then put it straight onto Ellie Cardwell.
The buzz and the vibe coming into the Copper Box here in London today was electric. England fans chomping at the bit to have some world-class netball. His first big competition since the World Cup last year in July. This lady carrying on where she left off, 6'6". We were saying she's tall, yes.
Very tall, but also very agile. Do you see that little pirouette she did on the baseline?
Centre, outside.
Dixon giving Clark a little nudge in the back.
Good from Cardwell, sitting at 100%. 4 from 4.
All shooters starting with good figures so far for England and Jamaica.
Again, France is coming out to hunt, and she's put that pressure on. Really great from her, knowing that it can't wait until it gets in, otherwise it'll be really tricky, but trying to force pressure early. And that understanding with Shimin. Shimin knows she's coming out, so she goes back into the circle to back her up.
Kate Shimin in the goal defence position, back in the position. After all the coaches making lots of changes throughout this Nations Cup. Spoke a lot about new players, new combinations through the hands of Corbin. Jamaica then pick it up mid-court. Chance to potentially go 2 ahead, but Shimin again.
Really, really good work from her. But this is the unforced errors that we talk about. Straight through the hands. Jamaica now have another opportunity to get down the court after some amazing defensive work from the England defence.
Contact. Yeah. This side, ladies, this side.
Hear the voice of the umpire, Tara Warner. Anzo Kemp also taking charge of this one. This is what they've come to see. Pamela Cookey, fight and fire from the England Roses.
Good work there off the centre pass. Nice talk between...
Contact, your knee.
But just getting a kick up the side.
Hold time, we'll just grab a
Good,
towel,
she's still
please.
smiling.
Yes, just
Shamira
there.
Sterling so honest in that interview earlier with Caroline Barker. Plays for the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
Retake, stand still, please, goal defender.
One of the characters, as you guys mentioned before this match, in the game, Pamela Cookey, and another character developing quite nicely through this Nations Cup is Ellie Cardwell.
She has indeed really grown in that goal shooter position. She's been a good target for them, and she's been accurate on the shot. All you need from your shooter.
Janelle Fowler, calm and collected. And in a second, back to Natalie Haythorne-Thwaite.
Contact, goal defender. That's it.
Nice use of pace from this England attack.
Obstruction.
Just to swing that ball a little bit, but then fire it through when...
There's some familiar faces.
Guthrie, Dunn, Corbin, Marshall.
It was funny, I had a quick word with Rachel Dunn when I arrived today, Pamela. She goes, this is really strange. I can't remember the last time I came to the Copper Box to watch a game of netball and not play, but she's enjoyed the Nations Cup, as have we. And Jamaica now levelling it up 8 apiece, just under 8 minutes of the first quarter remaining.
Nice work there. Good, sharp composure to the post. Haythorne-Thwaite and Corbin linking up nicely.
Jamaican centre pass. 7 players in their squad from the World Cup. Connie Francis leading the Jamaican national side for the second time. Remember, she led them to bronze at the World Cup in 2007. Played in 5 World Cups herself, Connie Francis. Bringing the calm back to the Jamaican team after tensions and conflicts last year. And they're playing better for it. It means a lot to Jamaica, this does, for many reasons, Pamela.
Definitely, and as you say, Connie has brought, and Shamira said it in an interview, that discipline and that structure to this Jamaica team. Especially in that first game we saw on Sunday. Very little contact calls or obstructions or those kind of niggles that we can sometimes know from Jamaica. They were disciplined and they brought that ball through, and that's what got them the win.
A roar of approval. Oh, an England Rose with the signed petals.
And signed too.
Round ahead. Strong work from the England fan. And good work from the Roses on court too. Jade Clark as busy as ever. Little fall down by Kadeen Corbin. Takes a lot to take her out. Straight back up into Cardwell. England pop another in.
Yeah, nice from her. And I did give her a little bit of good jump in it, because when you're in the air, the defender has to let you land. So it was very smart play there from Kadeen.
So just over 6 minutes remaining. The high ball over again to Fowler. Plays for West Coast Fever. Said she really does enjoy playing down under. Now she has a family with her as well, of course. Her daughter will be watching mummy playing again. The markings, the clipboards. Every bench has got a clipboard, right?
Taking stats.
Sterling straight back on court.
She was ready, wasn't she? But no one else in her team quite that quick.
So wherever you are watching around the world or with us online, we hope you've enjoyed this Nations Cup as much as we have. This penultimate day, remember the winner here between England and Jamaica. Go on to play New Zealand tomorrow.
Great there from Sterling. Just really sticking and tracking Corbin back to get up for that intercept.
Everybody still at 100%. Shooting in this first quarter, just under 5 minutes remaining. What have you seen so far in this first quarter, Pamela, from both sides? What's working? What do people need to do better?
I think both sides have been composed in terms of playing that ball through, just getting it to their shooters, giving them the opportunities to put it through. A few unforced errors we did see, but then amazing defensive work and a lovely roll in there from Kadeen Corbin.
England go one up. Slightly quieter when Jamaica are on the attack. Understandable, but many Jamaican fans are in. Watching around the world. The most famous sportsman, Usain Bolt, a very big netball fan, maybe tuning in somewhere, about to become a dad for the first time. So a lot going on in Jamaica. And Janine Fowler, as cool as a cucumber, draws it level. 4 minutes remaining of the first quarter.
Oh, good strength there from Cardwell. Good vision to start with from Haythornthwaite, but almost nearly into Jamaican's hand. This is a much better than that Sunday game, much more composed, so much less unforced errors. Contact center.
Beckford gets another one in, and that's her third of the match. 13 shots so far taken by each side.
And 10 for the goal shooter and 10 for the goal attack from both teams too.
Back mid-court to Malcolm. Clark, Haythornthwaite, the familiar combination in the red dress of England.
Footwork there called on Corbin.
So England haven't won an opening quarter in this Nations Cup. And at the moment, they're locked in battle with Jamaica. That one, Stacey Francis didn't win, and Fowler converts.
How much strength does she have with two defenders, one on her front, one on her back, and still can come up with the ball?
Contact all defense.
And such a shame for England, and this is what we saw in that other game as well, those latter parts of the quarter, just letting the opposition creep back in. And now Jamaica go up to him. Look at this strength from Fowler. All eyes on the ball, and brings it in.
The shooting linchpin for Jamaica has her side now 2 goals up in this first quarter. Ellie Cardwell, a quick conversation with Natalie Haythornthwaite, who has the captain's armband in this Nations Cup. Through the mid-court at the copper box.
Oh my God, wow. So good from Williams at wing attack. She's running off the court. But England get the turnover. Incorrect centre pass. Oh, sorry, it was from Hemmings.
Jamaica now 3 up. Corbin to pull one back.
Good girl.
Coming up to a minute to go in the first 50 minutes. Corbin again. Oh, this is confident boosting for Kadeen Corbin.
Good from her, 2 on the bounce. Can she now back it up with a third?
Vantage obstruction and contact, goal attack.
An absolutely
Vantage
brilliant
offside, win
first
defence.
15 minutes of world-class netball.
Goal defence, off the ball.
Well, Jamaica going to stretch it out to 2. They do indeed, with 50 seconds remaining. Clashing,
goal defence.
Fisher, Pittman. Watching on.
Go see the contact.
Turnover there. Can't make it a 3, and it comes straight back down the court. And that's the thing with Jamaica, they're so quick. But again, France is getting in a great inside position, but getting called for contact. Just couldn't quite get enough elevation on it to get more of a hand on that ball.
Goal defence, contact on the body.
Swings and roundabouts, twists and turns. Shimming the goal defence for
Goal
England,
attack,
throws ahead
obstruction,
back,
both players
stands
out.
by. Jamaica have 10 seconds to extend their lead to 4
Vantage
goals
contact
after this
offense.
first 15 minutes. Oh! Took 3 attempts for the Jamaican shooting superstar. But what a first 15 minutes. England and Jamaica, as exciting and as close as we hoped here in London. Jamaica leading 19-15. Jamaica lead by 4, but England are performing well. The Roses and the Sunshine Girls putting on a performance here in London. Do not go anywhere. Remember, winner takes all for the final tomorrow.
Watch me now. Don't stop me now. Go do it how we do it. I can do it. I'm gonna do it like that.
GD must have a good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
Welcome back to the Copper Box in London. England versus Jamaica in the Vitality Netball Nations Cup. The winner go on to play New Zealand tomorrow to see who lifts the first inaugural trophy of this competition. And England still haven't won a first quarter in the Nations Cup. Down by 4, Pamela Cookie, to Jamaica, but they were down against South Africa in the first quarter, but went on to win it.
Yeah, so they can still do it from after that start, but you would have wanted them to come out fine and be on top just to give that extra little bit of confidence and buffer. But never say die with this England team.
So it looks like there have been some changes by Jess Thirlby. Just in Natalie Haythorne-Thwaite throwing across in that goal attack position. So there's obviously been some changes. Here's confirmation of the England 7 on court at the moment. Chelsea Pittman into the wing attack position and Haythorne-Thwaite over in the goal attack position for the Roses.
Pittman, we saw a lot of her at the World Cup in that wing attack, had a little bit of break, didn't go out to South Africa with the team, but she's back in the squad again now and played a great part in their win on Wednesday.
So let's hand down to Gail Davis in the thick of the action courtside.
Thanks very much, Kath. Well, there are no seats free, are there, in the Copper Box? So the Sky Sports bench has just expanded somewhat. Serena Guthrie alongside me one side.
Hello.
What have you made of it so far?
It's an incredibly tight game. I think is exactly what everyone expected. Classic England-Jamaica. I'm pretty nervous, to be honest with you. It's very different being on this side of things. So yeah, I've not said much, and I can't eat or drink till the end of the game. So.
You lot over this side have been pretty noisy, haven't you, Sasha? You are living and breathing every moment.
I'm just always like that. I don't know what it is. I'm just so heavily invested. Like every ball, I'm just willing them on, and I'm just hoping that they can take it over the line. This is always going to be a hard game. Like we know that, but we know that they can also do it. So it's just about that composure, and hopefully we can see them do that tonight.
And just finally, Rach, you said it's quite nice coming as a fan, didn't you? Do you still feel that now? Or are you pretty nervous?
Pretty nervous. Watching the South Africa-New Zealand game was good. This is a bit more intense watching your own team play.
Overall, though, you think England will have enough? We've seen a couple of changes. Your old mate Nat's on at goal attack. Can she make the difference?
Oh, she can, definitely. We saw on Wednesday when they played South Africa, she make a difference. I think, yeah, England attack were doing well. We need to turn a bit more ball over and convert it and pull this gap back.
Thanks very much. Enjoy, ladies. They are very noisy down here, Kath. Let's hope England give them plenty to cheer about in this second quarter.
Well, indeed. Teammates cheering them on. The majority of the Copper Box cheering them on. And that was needed by Ellie Cardwell. Now back to 3. Jamaica have the lead.
Beckford has, and I wanted to see a little bit more from her in terms of her playmaking, going to post, getting those opportunities, not just relying on Fowler. And she's doing that in this game so far. Obviously don't want to see her do it too well, just in this game.
Jamaica led at the end of every quarter in that win against South Africa in Nottingham at the start of this Nations Cup, and they've come out in this second 15-minute segment, continuing to pile on the pressure for England. The changes that Jess Thirlby made, Pamela Cookie, expected, hopefully will be effective.
Well, that's the hope, and I think after Jess probably thinking about Sunday as well in that second quarter, how maybe she did need to just inject something different, mix it up a little bit so that they can get a little bit more of a change. And that was lovely play there on the baseline from Haythorne-Thwaite to offload that to Cardwell.
Oh, Francis tips it out the hands of Janelle Fowler. England now on the attack.
Just need to be clinical, as we always say, with this ball of possession. Turn fully. Oh, well held from Pittman.
Contact is. Got this one out of play with the tag, stand aside.
Haythornthwaite just can't make that stick. But they get another opportunity. Offside. Lucky they got a chance to set the penalty.
Vantage contact, wing defense. Contact, goal defense.
The tall Jamaican defence making it hard for Haythornthwaite and Cardwell. But they get a little bit of a glimpse of light and pull one back. 21-23, coming up to 10 minutes remaining until half-time. Haythornthwaite. It stays. It doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that pass was or who to. I think someone might have changed direction. But that was one they needed to bank.
So Jamaica taking advantage, playing well here, 2 goals up. 5th at that World Cup last year in July. You heard Shamira Sterling talk about it being not just disappointing but embarrassing for the Jamaican side, not making the semi-finals, looking to make amends in a more settled camp. And it was Fowler actually after the winning Nottingham over South Africa that said we feel a very different side, we feel different as a team. And that can only be dangerous for the likes of England when Jamaica get back going again on the international scene.
Definitely, when we talk about them having their swag, when they are feeling confident, when they are geeing each other up, not shouting at each other, when they are playing for each other, it's a very strong Jamaican team.
So the lead is being cut to 3. It was 4 after the first 15 minutes that Jamaica led.
I'm really loving Francis at goalkeeper. She's really making Fowler work. These balls going in are not easy at all. But not so much on that pass. Spoke too soon.
Shimin hands the ball back.
Just that pass there. She only had one option to pass to. But then still need to make those ones count when you get those intercepts.
Vantage contact center. Vantage offside, wing defense.
Great shot, Ellie Cardwell. She's got a good brain on in terms of that composure. You know when she takes the ball strongly and she turns the post quickly, it's going to go in.
Nearly from Shimin, trying to disrupt that high ball going in to Fowler, but the shooting partnership of Beckford and Fowler being very effective for the Sunshine Girls. Still that 4-goal lead though, that's what they had after the first quarter. Jane Clark shouting directions.
Willing that attacking end to come free, get down the court for us, give her options to pass to. It's just a little bit static on that third line. But nice once they break through it. Cardwell again using that back space nicely.
Well, the thunderclappers are getting a good use in this first half here. The England fans getting what they asked for, and the Jamaican fans as well. Connie Francis on the side, still 3 up. Split landing.
There's very little you can do when they're feeding from the edge of the circle and you've got Fowler with that split land.
Clark on the centre then to Pittman.
Vantage contact, wing defense.
Good swing round. And Ellie Cardwell is doing a great job onto Haney, making sure that she's got that back space available to move into. She's not moving off too early to allow Haney to be able to step back, but just timing it well. And the feeds coming into her have been on point.
That's it, centre.
So a reminder, a win for New Zealand earlier over South Africa, 48-41. New Zealand 3 from 3 in this Nations Cup. They're in the final tomorrow, but we need to decide who will play in that first and second place match. And with both of these sides having won one and lost one, it will be the winner which will battle it out tomorrow against New Zealand. Clark then trying to make it happen. Eyes as usual all over the place from Jay Clark, into Cardwell, and another one goes in.
Yeah, and that's where her experience shows, just having that confidence to know it is going to open up and she can't pass it to anyone else, she's just going to fire it in. Dehaney we see is coming off the court. Ellie Cardwell really getting the better of her.
So Connie Francis making a change. Such is the sterling work of England's Ellie Cardwell.
Centre contact. Contact wing defence outside.
There's confirmation then of that change. Natanya Wilson going into the goalkeeper
Contact goalkeeper. Taking the ball off
position
the hand
with
and
coming
just
up to
think of
5
the wing
minutes
finish.
remaining until
Yes, thank
half
you.
time.
Contact on the ball, both players. Yes.
Yeah, Wilson going to Celtic Dragons this year in the
wing attack.
Vitality Netball Super League. So applying her trade on English soil for this next season. But she's had a good competition as well, playing behind Shamira Sterling. So can that partnership now again reproduce some of the turnovers that we've seen in the past?
Vantage contact centre, vantage contact centre.
Quick feet from
Goalkeeper
Haythornthwaite.
stopping
And she's pumped with that shot.
And a quick word with Lisa Alexander, the Australian head coach, earlier when she was walking past our commentary position. Very complimentary of Natalie Haythornthwaite and what she brings to the world of netball. New South
Wing
Wales
defence
Swift
contact,
player.
holding the player.
Doing some good things down under, as she has done in the Super League as well in past. And that's a great camera shot, isn't it?
I love that shot when they do it, because you just see how the ball comes down the court. And good work again from Cardwell.
Vantage not on side, goal attack.
So the difference is 3. It was 4 after the first quarter. Jamaica trying to stretch this back out again. Dixon will collect the ball. Part of the Commonwealth Games squad that won bronze back in 2018 when England lifted the title down under.
Oh, just a little bit too obvious, and Wilson making her mark to get that intercept. As we see, Clark saw the space, but Wilson always had it covered.
Contact on defence. Vantage obstruction.
It's out to 5 then for the Sunshine Girls. The Velcro hands of Janelle Fowler. That was wonderful play. Took it under control, played it back out centre court, composed herself, took it back in and shot.
Exactly what you just said.
Vantage contact, wing defence. Throw in.
29-35. England needing to stay in this one with 2.5 minutes remaining until half-time. Jess Thirlby and her coaching staff made the changes.
It's the same position again as we saw in that first quarter, sorry. Those last few minutes, making a couple of errors, but they get the turnover. But Shamira Sterling is saying no thank you.
And we're starting to enjoy this, Jamaica, with a 6-goal lead.
Yeah.
And it's step forward.
Yeah, it's England just needing to be able to close out quarters. Stacey saying that's 2 now, 2 on the bounce that Jamaica have got.
So, Pittman making way for one of the youngsters who's been making a bit of a stir in the England Roses.
Yeah, well, we saw her come on at centre and she's been great. Amy Carter coming in now at wing attack, a young gun, showing some amazing stuff, getting her first cap in that game on Sunday when they lost to New Zealand. But I've not seen her at wing attack before, but she does have attacking prowess, so let's see now how she can help England pull some of this back.
And she came on when South Africa, they were playing South Africa in Birmingham in the second quarter as a centre. But the Manchester Thunder player now wearing the WA wing attack for England. And Ellie Cardwell makes it 30 for the Roses. There she is, the 21-year-old. epitomising what this Nations Cup, this new cycle that we're talking about, is doing for developing athletes in the England squad. She's had a massive few games and a big impact.
Definitely, yeah, so good. She's been playing with Manchester Thunder, and then been through the age groups, and now getting a chance
Contact wing the Finns,
with the senior team.
So there she is, Carter, picking up the ball. 40 seconds remaining. Jamaica have taken this out to 8. Offside call. Dixon drops the ball.
Goal the Finns, goalkeeper.
A ripple of let's go, England, let's go.
Goalkeeper, you as well.
Not a loud one, to be fair. It was rippling around the Copper Box Arena. Cardwell obliges and puts one in to make it 7 with just 20 seconds remaining.
A nice shot as we see Jamaica bring this ball down the court, just using those ankles, and Fowler so strong under the post. 4 seconds, we need to get this ball in. Lovely, but can't keep the ball in.
Well, I think the England fans were hoping Ellie Cardwell would turn and shoot, but she passed it off, and the half-time buzzer goes. England 31, Jamaica 39. The Sunshine Girls have extended their lead to 8. They've doubled their lead from after the first quarter. Jess Thirlby and her coaching side are going to make changes. We will see. But Gail Davis on court.
Thanks very much, Kath. I'm with Nat. Nat, what's the overriding emotion? Is it one of frustration because you've let them just get their noses a little bit too far ahead, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. Feeling a little frustrated at the moment, but there's another 30 minutes of netball to go, and you never know what's going to happen. We're going to go back to the dressing rooms, regroup, and hopefully come out with a better performance in the second half.
It's key mistakes at kind of key times. Does that just come with a little bit of experience? We've seen quite a lot of chopping and changing in position.
I think for us defensively, we're getting good turnovers, so it's just about rewarding that and making sure that we are rewarding the turnovers.
So well in the second half, Nat. Janelle, we saw how pumped you are, how pumped your whole side is. I mean, you're pretty pleased right now, aren't you, with the way your side have performed in that first half?
Yes, I'm very pleased. We just need to maintain possession a little bit more and drive a bit harder in attack. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy, though.
We've not seen you as a group put 60 together so far. We've seen glimpses, haven't we? How do you go about getting that consistency in the second half?
It's just to keep ours and defend hard on theirs and just make sure we're connecting.
You know this is a semi, you know this is winner takes all. What's it like playing out in it? Because it looks pretty fun from where we're sitting.
Oh, it's really nice, it's intense, and I love it.
We've enjoyed it too. Thanks, Janelle.
Well, you can tell that they're enjoying themselves, the Sunshine Girls. Captain Janelle Fowler says yes, we are having fun, and why not? They are leading England at half-time by 8 goals. The analysis after the break.
GD must have a good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
The attack end for England has been changing somewhat over the last couple of quarters. England trailing by 8 goals. There have been some moments of brilliance. But the captain of the Jamaican side, Janelle Fowler, she loves the intensity of this. And she says the Jamaicans are going to go for it in the second half. I'm here with Tamsin and with Pam. Defensively, Tamsin, what's gone wrong for England?
Yeah, well, I'm going to forget the attack end for a moment and pick up the defence. And I know England have made errors in the attack end, but look at the score, 39-31. That is very high scoring. And England, if they want to get back in the game, they have to shut some things down. Pick up Shimin here, Laura Malcolm, Jay Clark. I said these guys would be key in England doing a job on Jamaica. Where Jamaica have been weakest, look at how they're keeping them up the court. And if I stop this here, this is the long bomb we talk about. They don't want to give that into Fowler right there. Look at where all the Jamaicans are. They're right up the court. So they're having to be patient as we play this through. The work rate, back marking, keeping them up the court here. Again, they don't want to put the long bomb in. Eventually, when they do, Fowler is out of the circle. Happy days. That's where you want her. You don't want her under here. You get her out here, you've done a job. And the more they play it around, the more England give themselves an opportunity. Okay, they don't win this one, but they're putting them under all kinds of pressure. Let's have a look at this one. And difference is, they've gone on a 3-over on the centre pass, so already Shimon's going to get beaten because her player is over here. So as we play this through, just watch Shimon drop off the line because she's nowhere near her player. This is a massive problem. The double against Fowler in this team does not work because these guys are not big enough. So as we play this through, just keep your eye on Beckford in the corner. She comes through in there. She's on 100%. That has to be stopped. You can't leave it like that. Now, I'm all for mixing up defence, but right now they need to stick to one structure, a structure that's working, put Jamaica under constant pressure, then you can start mixing things up and around. I'm really surprised we made an attacking change and not a defensive change.
Because where it was working was when Stacey was coming out and picking up the goal attack and Shimon was running in, but just dropping into no man's land is not going to do it for you.
Okay, so a stern word from Jess Thirlby in terms of the defensive end, and then that gives
well, you're going to win more ball.
Exactly.
You're going to win more ball. You're going to give
confidence to the mid-court and to the attacking end as well. Okay, let's go to the other end, the attacking end though, and what do you make of what's been going on? Pam, you were pretty surprised that Amy Carter came on as wing attack.
Yes, only because I've not seen her on an England dress until she came on Sunday. But
there's a first here at the Copper Box
for everything.
But this is an opportunity for Jess to try out different combinations.
But I would think we'd both agree she's a centre wing defence.
Exactly.
So, and a wing attack is a very specialised position. I also felt harsh for Kadeen Corbin coming on. I actually think she was doing a fairly good job, but it's almost like they went with experience, right?
Yeah.
And tough for her to come on.
Yeah, and I think if that was going to happen, just don't start her. Like she left her. We were really going into her at the start of the game thinking if she can come on with confidence, if she can tame down that too over muchness and just play with a little bit more structure and a little bit more clinicality, then she would do all right. And to be fair to her, as you said, she did do that. There were a couple of times though where she did lose her head a little bit, but that happens in international.
She's up against Sterling.
True.
There's so much to discuss.
It's a battle out there, and it's a semi-final. Game on.
8 goals, game on. Let's bring it on. The third quarter coming up. Can the England Roses pull it back to get into the final against New Zealand tomorrow? Don't go anywhere.
GD must stand for good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
Welcome back to the Copper Box here in London, England and Jamaica, and it's the Sunshine Girls that have an 8-goal advantage over the Roses. They had to dig deep to win against South Africa in Birmingham in the third quarter. Just a few days to go. And Tamsin Greenway alongside me. They've got to dig deep again, Tamsin, and changes have been made by Jess Thirlby.
Yeah, of course they have, and it's good to see Amy Carter in a position where I think she'd be more comfortable, and we're happy seeing her as well into the centre position. Chelsea Pittman back onto wing attack. Look, this is totally doable from England, but they have to turn that flow to Janelle Fowler because she's feeling confident. She's in the mood to play. She's taking such good ball, and she's so dominant under that post.
So confirmation of the 7 on court for England. And as Fowler said to Gail Davis at half-time, I'm enjoying this, I'm having fun, but as you said, Tamsin, you can't double up on Fowler. You've got to somehow shut her down.
I think you just got to win the ball early. I think always the danger when you play a Jamaican side is you let them settle, they just get more and more confident and will fight you the whole way. However, I've seen England come out of worse situations, so, you know, they've got the players out there on court, but they're going to have to dig deep in this second half, and you're going to see a lot about their personalities and their mental ability.
And the changes for Jamaica, and Connie Francis going through as well. So 32-41 in this third quarter. Winner tomorrow, to reiterate, plays New Zealand in the Nations Cup final. Pittman then on the ball into the hands of Cardwell.
And Cardwell's been strong, hasn't she? Been really, really key, shooting 100%. There's 27 from 27 now. She's really come on this week, taken that shooter position, made it her own.
About this obstruction wing attack.
Taking the opportunity offered by Jess Thirlby. But Jamaica with the lead.
Goal defence with third side.
Remember, they lost
Yes,
in
thank
Birmingham to New Zealand. That 71-45 defeat after winning in Nottingham against South Africa. I mentioned it to Pamela Cookie, Tamsin. This is important for so many reasons for Jamaica as they start to rebuild after their disappointment of last year.
Yeah, it is, and I think this week you've seen how quickly they can bounce back. You know, had a brilliant game against South Africa, very disappointed against New Zealand, and so they should be, that game really blew out. But back here again today, giving it to England, and I saw Lisa Alexander in the first break, and I just went, it was so refreshing to see South Africa step up today. So brilliant to see Jamaica coming through the ranks, because we can't have world netball dominated by 2 teams. The last 4 years, we've really seen the other nations step up. England, Jamaica, South Africa pushing the teams all the way. And yeah, it's so important that that continues.
On this goal, contact on the fence.
One of the interesting stats from Jamaica's loss against New Zealand in Birmingham, they actually shot at 94%, Jamaica, netting 45 of their 48 attempts, but New Zealand at 89% had 80 attempts on goal compared to the Jamaican side.
And there's a great pick-up from Sterling. And that is the danger with Haythornthwaite in there. You know, she's not playing in there for accuracy. Yes, she's on point, but she is a shorter goal attack, so it just means that when they get the long range shots and they get the long arms over, it makes it difficult for her. But I think you're right, for Jamaica, it's not about their accuracy, it's about their attempts. And lots of teams at the World Cup work them out. I've been quite critical about that front line of Beckford and Williams and the work rate. Well, everybody is out today to prove a difference, and I think this is what the Nations Cup's been great for, the improvement of the teams across the week.
That high ball again into Fowler, a little step forward by the Jamaican goal shooter. 39 from 41 so far, 95%. And Jamaica extend the lead to 11 goals.
Wing defender, you're out of play.
That was unlucky by Jodie Ann Ward. England like to play that depth, like to get into the pockets, but you can't forget about Jamaica's range, and we've seen that from Sterling, the ball she's picked up. And Jodie Ann there showing what she can do as well. Just their athleticism to go back and up. It's one of their traits, it's something you have to be wary of.
So the difference is 10, and I mentioned earlier, netball fans around the world tuning into the Nations Cup and here at the Copper Box Arena. Gail Davis, you're catching up with a British familiar voice and face.
Thanks very much, Kath. Well, I'm alongside Fiona Bruce and her daughter Mia. And Fiona, you were just saying it's your first taste of live netball and you've absolutely loved it.
Well, it's so fast. I mean, this is a brilliant game that you have to feel for the England goalkeeper against a 6'7" goal scorer. I mean, that is just, every time it comes to her, no one can reach it except her. But it's a brilliant game, and England's doing fantastically well.
And how lovely that you two can both come to live sport. I mean, I know you go and watch football, but you know, you wouldn't necessarily go with her to watch football. So as an outing, how much have you kind of liked? It's your birthday treat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really nice, really fun. Yeah.
And you play a little bit, don't you?
Yeah,
so knowing that you can, if you want to reach this level, must be pretty amazing. Because a few years ago, it just wasn't possible, was it?
Yeah, that's true. It's exciting to see it at such a high level.
I think the World Cup changed this sport phenomenally in Liverpool. We've seen, haven't we? You've reported on enough women's sport over the last year and a half to know that it's completely different from a few years ago.
It's completely changed, and the BBC actually really put its weight behind women's football in particular. And exactly now, there's, you know, watching the England games, watching these women play. They're so brilliant. They're so athletic. They're so at the top of their game. It's just fantastic.
You've not seen them before. Who stood out for you?
Well, I think the England goal scorer, the goal shooter rather, is
Ellie.
She is rock solid. Every time she gets it, it's in. She's super cool. Yeah.
Ice cold veins.
She really has got ice running through her veins. She's so impressive. But they're all brilliant, you know.
And what about you? You probably follow them quite closely. Who's your favourite?
You've got to see Amy Carter up and coming. Yeah, she definitely looks good.
She's got a bit about her, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm glad you've both had a fabulous time. We hope to see you again at the Super League.
Same here. We'd love to come and see it again.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, ladies. Enjoy.
So Fiona Bruce, newsreader extraordinaire, her first time here in world-class netball with her daughter enjoying it. There's her daughter's favourite player, Amy Carter, in the centre position. How are we looking, Tamsin Greenway? 37-48, under 9 minutes remaining. The changes have been made by both. So far, effective or not?
Well, in terms of England going goal for goal in this quarter, yes. However, you just have to question now, you know, have they got too much to do? Can Jamaica keep this up for a full quarter? We've got to start winning some ball. Easier said than done. And when it's like that, we've just seen the change of Raz Quashie enter the game. Stacey Francis out. I'm glad that we've done that. We needed to do something. We've got to give Jamaica something else to think about at this point in time, because this is real danger, period.
So a shot then of Jess Thirlby, notepad and pen in hand.
And Ellie Cardwell, they're having a real battle in the circle. She was just explaining to the umpire her arm was being pinned. Fortunately, when you are 10 goals down, it doesn't always fall for you, and the umpire's calls definitely don't always come your way. You've got to make your own luck. And Quashie almost did. I just think, looking at this game, it's amazing how players match up against each other, isn't it? 3 days ago, we're watching a very different Jamaica side, struggling with the zone, struggling with the off-mark, not understanding where to place the ball to Fowler. Today, just a completely different unit. Really happy to put ball in, put on 2-on-1. Fowler shooting from distance.
38-51. Haythornthwaite under the post. Rolls on into the delight of the home fans. Remember, it was 8 the difference at half-time, 39-31 that the Sunshine Girls had the lead.
I think it's really interesting that Jamaica as well have left Sterling out at goal defence and not put her back into keeper. The introduction of Wilson and I know sort of people have been saying this week a lot on Twitter, have been going, oh, you know, she's so much better in keeper, she wins more ball. The work rate that she does out the front on these players is only second to someone like Carla Pretorius. I've actually been really impressed with her. She's so new in that area, and yet she's fit enough, she's strong enough to play there, and she's gritty and determined enough as well to give that goal attack so much pressure.
Wing attack. You're holding on. Wing attack. Just have a look. You're offside, yeah.
So coming into this match, Jamaica had only won just 2 quarters from 8 so far in this Nations Cup. But of the insight that Tamsin Greenway is giving us, this is a good performance from Jamaica. How would you sum up what they're doing so far now, Tamsin, for those that didn't watch the game when they lost to New Zealand in Birmingham? What's the main differences you're noticing today here in London?
Well, I'm impressed with their attack end. You know, some footwork there from Francis, and every time they get themselves back in the game, England, they manage to hand it back over to Jamaicans. But look, their attack end has been really dominant. They've kept possession when needed, but they've been willing to play it around. They've had free rein to drive down the court to get some depth. This is where England need to be effective on that third line. They've not done enough of that against Jamaica today. They've allowed Beckford, Williams, Nicole Dixon to just cut through their end. And I'm so surprised after watching England on Wednesday, because it was probably where their strongest area was and the reason they beat the South Africans.
Contact centre. Centre contact taken.
Carter trying a little 1-2 with Haythornthwaite, but ends up getting it into the hands of Ellie Cardwell. Second attempt goes in.
And in that defensive circle now, they've really rattled England. They're all over them. They're getting their arms in everywhere. They're being allowed to be physical. Again, in a couple of other games, I think we've seen them blown out of the game at times. But when you get your noses in front, I said the umpires always look at you very, very differently.
Another example of what Tamsin was talking about just after half-time. Two defenders on Janelle Fowler. She still has the athletic ability, height and reach to take it and put one in. And Jamaica are starting to be a little bit rampant here. 13 goals as the lead.
Yeah, and I was quite critical about our defensive end in the first half, but, you know, reality is now the attack is just not firing. Really sloppy errors there off the centre pass. Just not reading Jamaica's range, not giving themselves enough options, not doing enough work off the ball, getting involved in the battle.
.55-40. The shouts of direction from Captain Fowler to her teammates. Haythornthwaite back through the centre third. Francis looking for options.
Yeah, and even the mess of that centre pass there from England. Pittman and Haythornthwaite just so worried about getting out, not working together, all ending up the court, having to go backwards and play the ball around.
Quick shot of Tracy Neville there, the former England head coach, of course. Due her first child very shortly. We wish her well. Changes then for Jamaica. Goal shooting changes.
And this is a really interesting change from Jamaica. We haven't seen Nelson all week. I've been wanting to see her out there, especially when Jamaica have been in trouble. I'm actually surprised they've done it now. They're clearly feeling that they've got this game in the bag. You know, to have not left it till the fourth quarter to introduce her. And you already see the difference, that one-on-one there. Kwasi Mott up against her so much easier than she does against Fowler.
So as confirmation, Fowler exits the court. Shimona Nelson withdrew from the World Cup squad last year. 195 centimetres tall herself, bringing the same amount of height into the circle for Jamaica.
And Jamaica are going to have to work the extra pass now. They're not going to be able to lob it in from as far out as they could against Fowler. But England still need to sort out their attack end. Got to take a breath, and it's very difficult when you're in this physical battle with Jamaica because there's so much body. Every single pass has to be pinpoint to get around them. That's a personality from Sterling. The crowd don't like it at all. There is a real battle going on in that circle. It started with Wilson and Cardwell. They're all trying to fight to get this ball back. Jamaica are fired up today. I've been in some of these battles over the years when you just know they are out there to do anything to win this game, and it's so hard to play against them when they're in this mindset. It's an excellent performance.
There's a little bit of what we call argy-bargy between Sterling and Cardwell. Sterling, we know her character. Cardwell, of course, playing well, but a side of 14 down as Francis picks it up. Now England have to capitalise that physical nature, the hugging of the ball from Jay Clark. She's not going to give it up easily.
Exactly, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to grit it out. You've got to get your body across. You can't be afraid to give it. But everybody's got to be on the same page. You've got to want it, not be afraid of the hit.
Obstruction. Contact.
If it was a pantomime, Shamira Sterling would be the villain. Everything she's doing now is getting a little bit of a friendly boo, shall we say, from the London crowd.
But she's got her side 13 goals up. And you know what? Those kind of personalities don't fuss me at all. I think it's what the game needs. Look how involved the crowd are when the team is 13 down. Don't you want that?
England. Bonus contact, centre.
So Jamaica 56, England 43, under a minute remaining in this third quarter. Jamaica's highest Nations Cup score so far was 59 against South Africa in Nottingham. They're going to smash through that with one more quarter to come.
And just look at the difference here from Jamaica. They haven't got that second phase coming through. Francis being out there, goal defence is working Shanice Beckford a lot harder, and they're having to put the extra pass in to get it into Nelson.
15 seconds to go.
Centre contact. Centre.
Contact called.
Centre the side.
Gimme, 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 says Jade Clark.
Well, she knows the clock's running down. She knows what Dixon was trying to do.
Hold time. That's deliberate contact to delay. We'll bring it in. And that's a caution. You're out of play.
Dixon, caution, out of play. Cardwell shoots, pulls one back, just as the buzzer goes. For England, we're 3/4 down here at the copper box, and England are having to fight the mountain and the score that Jamaica have put on them so far. 45-57. The Sunshine Girls are leading the England Roses.
So the scores on the doors ahead of this final quarter. England 44.
If England want to go in the final tomorrow against New Zealand, they're going to have to pull something spectacular out the bag. Jamaica, off the back of that defeat against New Zealand, are on fire and leading the way.
GD must have a good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
So England have 15 more minutes to turn round a deficit. The world number 3 side of England trailing Jamaica, the world number 4s. Jess Philby has made some changes. Tamsin Greenway looks like Haythornthwaite's gone back to wing attack. Cardwell to goal attack, and George Fisher looks like she's on in the goal shooter position.
Yeah, this is the third change we've seen in the shooting circle for England this evening. Not surprised, Haythornthwaite was sitting at 42%, 3 from 7, and it just wasn't firing in that circle. They were all kinds of rattled. I think the introduction of George Fisher is a good one. Give them something else to think about, and Cardwell just for a quarter out there. She'll have her work cut out against Shamira Sterling, but if she can get into that circle and post up nice and early, then England will have a chance with 2 targets in there.
So the umpires on the far side of the court poised to bring on the ball for the final 15 minutes here in London. On the left there, Ellie Cardwell, Shamira Sterling on the right. Jamaica with the first centre pass of the 4th quarter.
And as we glance down the court, it's hard not to miss her. Fowler's come back into goal shooter. Not really surprised for exactly that reason.
Goalkeeper with her.
The reality is that match up there against Raz Qureshi. She's able to get the ball in over the top. They were struggling with Nelson in there. They've not played with her all week, Nelson. You know, tactically that changes everything, and probably this isn't the game to do it. You know, allow those players that are performing to keep out there. It's the semi-final. Your practice games were the 2 games in the week.
So Quashie, Francis, Clark, Carter, Haythornthwaite back in that wing attack position. Cardwell, as I mentioned, to goal attack. And George Fisher on a goal shooter have the task to turn over a lead of the Sunshine Girls. And they brought the Velcro hand back on of captain Janelle Fowler.
And you just know it's one of those games when Cardwell had got her hand in there, did everything you want an attacking player to do defensively on a centre pass. Went through the legs of Amy Carter.
Yes.
That's good positioning there from Cardwell as well, and that's the difference with having the 2 targets in the circle. As Fisher posted up, Wilson had to stay on her. It isolated the 2 Jamaicans.
Quashie and Francis given the job to Mark, the captain of Jamaica. 47 playing 60. George Fisher up and running.
Yeah, that was a good centre pass from England. They got out of the mess, they let ball go, they looked for the depth. Although Jamaica were out hunting, pass was too pinpoint for it. Down the other end again, way too easy. It's been difficult because I think Francis had great position on Fowler, but they did need to change something out the front, and she's been effective out there at goal defence now.
Cardwell taking it back, centre court, not collected by her player, therefore Jamaica take full advantage.
Yeah, and it's just the unforced errors when you're playing possession like that, understanding where those players are behind you, making sure you're talking, but the communication is one of the first things to go when you're this far down. Everyone becomes isolated, you start playing on your own.
Throw in. Up here. Thank you. Yes, please.
Nicole Dixon not happy with herself there. She was in perfect feeding position, almost too close to Fowler, put too much on it. And that probably is still Jamaica's weakness, just that reliance on Fowler, as you called it, the Velcro hands. She's taking ball in even when it's not quite placed right. Sometimes means the feeders don't change. You know, they don't adapt to what's going on there because she rescues you all the time.
Fisher in some space. Pops one in. 49-62.
Contact, wing defense.
As it stands, it'll be Jamaica playing New Zealand tomorrow in the first and second match playoff. A little bit of hurdling technique.
She didn't even crack a smile then. Come on, Shamira. That was good athleticism. She is in the zone today. She is a Jamaican player I would not want to be playing against right now.
You could just tell from the vibe of the interview before the match after that loss against New Zealand. They were like, no, this is not us. We've got to come back out and show people that, yes, we lost 71-45 against the world champions, but that's too much of a defeat for us. And today they've turned up Tamsin Greenway.
They have indeed, and I think they've flourished under this matchup. They've really taken advantage of England's defensive end not being as tall and not doing the off-marking.
Contact, wing defense.
And they've battled with them in the attacking like that. They've put them under all kinds of pressure. Shot from Carborough, you can't falter. Only missed one shot this whole game.
Center contact.
That's better from England. I think since Haythornthwaite's been back in at wing attack, she's opened up that centre pass. She's really started to control it. The same with Carter. She's just given a bit of pace and height coming through into the end third. It's where Haythornthwaite's at her best. And great pressure from the England defence. Kept them all up in the court. Sterling only had eyes for Fowler. It was the only thing on.
Now the Roses have to make it count to bring it back to single digits in terms of the deficit.
Yeah, and that was lucky for England there, but they get another shot. No, they're still not dead and buried if they can win ball like that off Fowler. They are far more composed in this attack end than they have been in that second and third quarter.
Goalkeeper contact, Fisher.
That's where Jamaica should be more disciplined there. That ball was sailing right off the court. Fisher unable to convert. Should be kicking herself for that one. And a great pickup from Haythornthwaite. She's bouncing around with that ball. You hear the crowd go wild.
Center contact.
Nice bit of pressure this from the England Roses.
Much better from Fisher. England made hard work of it, but they converted. You can feel the crowd now. And you know, there is that belief. Before they went in on that third quarter, they all took a huddle. They took ownership. They didn't go straight over to the bench and look for answers. They took some ownership here. They know what they're capable of.
The difference is now 8.
Interesting from Beckford and Williams. They're shouting to the defence end, you know, that was the one. Bring that ball through the court nicely for them. They were patient there, Jamaica. I did wonder how they cope with that mentally.
Goal defense, contact on the body, right next to us.
So much more open in that attack end now for England. Makes such a difference with Haythornthwaite. Oh, she thought she got that one. She knows how to motivate her side. Getting stuck in there defensively as well. That's really important for England now. Everyone doing their job.
Fowler waits for the ball to come back in her hands and pops. All in, shooting at 94% today in that loss against New Zealand. She shot at 95%, 100% when they won against South Africa in their first match of this Nations Cup. Clark. Pass it off to Francis. Into the hands of George Fisher.
And Caldwell's doing a great job against Sterling. She's sitting a bit further back. She's creating the right timing, so she's not going straight away. She's popping on Sterling, so Sterling's not sure what to go on. And it's leaving Wilson isolated in the back, and George Fisher's holding her space nicely. Very close to 3 seconds there, Jamaica.
Goalkeeper. You can't stand next to her on the shot. You can't stand against her. Marcus offside, centre.
Haythornthwaite back into the centre third, back Carter in space.
And a beautiful feed from Amy Carter. Caldwell being smart as well, just posting up in the circle, letting George Fisher roll the front.
Marcus on outside, wing attack.
We saw earlier with South Africa what two holding shooters can do, what two taller shooters in the circle. It can be effective as long as your mid-court are doing the work out the front. Another error by Jamaica. It's interesting because they were so in control of this game, but whether it's fitness or just the mental capacity here from Jamaica, they need to rein it in.
Contact inside. Yes.
Cardwell eyes it up and drops it in for England. Just under 5 minutes remaining. 7 goals now the difference between these two sides. England will not want to play South Africa again tomorrow. Yes, they beat them in Birmingham on Wednesday, but they don't want to play in the third, fourth playoff. They want to play the world champions, New Zealand. 4.5 minutes to go, 59-65.
And Jamaica need to go back to that structure they had before in that defence end. You know, England just walked that centre pass through. They were able to swing from wide to top without any kind of commitment to the ball from Jamaica. Sterling's dropping off. Jodie-Ann Ward's not going for ball as well. It's so interesting to see how it swung from quarter to quarter.
In the face. You have to contact right after. Contact after ball.
The chant from the England fans ring around the copper box, trying in this last 4 minutes to get something out of their England roses. There's the bench looking on. Jamaica on the verge of the fence.
And there's still time for England. Another big turnover in this next minute. I'll tell you what, with this crowd on side as well, it'll be interesting to see how Jamaica handle that. And unlucky from Francis.
On the verge of getting revenge from that World Cup defeat last year.
Marcus obstruction, goal attack. Marcus obstruction, wing attack.
Absolutely loving the calmness from Amy Carter. You see the bench up there, they enjoyed that too. She plays with so much experience. Bearing in mind this is really her first opportunity with England this week.
Not a smile just yet from captain Jamil Fowler. Their side of 7 up, 6 up. We're coming up to 2.5 minutes remaining.
Well, she was given loads of instruction there to attack end, and that's the error.
Hold time. It's goal third, free pass. Goal third, free pass. Goal third.
Flashy picks it up.
Hold time, please. Swing the fence. You had a caution for persistent contact. It's now a warning. Yes?
It's all unravelling very quickly for Jamaica. It's almost like they're playing this game to cling on rather than attacking the game. I was so surprised by their attitude in this last quarter. England, however, playing with absolutely nothing to lose. Look at the difference here. They're able to just cut through that attack end.
Marcus offside, goal attack. Marcus obstruction, centre.
The clock hits 2 minutes to go. Fisher makes it 64.
England need to be on this now. Really structured, big centre pass for Jamaica. Are they going to play safe?
Marcus offside, big attack. Marcus contact, centre.
Oh, Francis so lucky there, nearly got the reject. She went for the smother. Fingertips on that. And Beckford gives out a big cheer there. She knows now. That should be in the bag for Jamaica. England have fought back so well in this last quarter.
Just inside.
Gave themselves
Just
way too much to
inside,
do there, especially with such a targeting fouler under the post.
Obstruction around
Well,
the
they were
body.
double digits down at the end of the third quarter, the England Roses.
Obstruction both players.
And as Tamsin Greenway said, really have fought back in this fourth and final quarter, but with 1 minute left on the clock, Jamaica with the centre pass and 4 ahead. The Sunshine Girls will take revenge on England from Liverpool last year and will play New Zealand for the Nations Cup in the final tomorrow, and England will play South Africa again. This is exactly what Connie Francis and the Jamaican side wanted.
Yeah, and if you talk about learning processes, Jamaica, you know, have got to go away and look at this last quarter. Yes, they've had moments of brilliance today. I've been really impressed with them both ends. However, you know, they almost threw this game away. They were 12, 13 goals up at one point. How they've let England come back into this game. Yes, England have done some excellent stuff in this last 15, but Jamaica should have been home and dry much earlier.
So clearly surpassing that score of 59 that they put when they beat South Africa in Nottingham. Sterling had the last drop of the ball in this match, and Jamaica win against England. They will face New Zealand for the Nations Cup title tomorrow. England will play South Africa again, but the Jamaican side just too much for England today. They win it out 70 goals to 66.
Yeah, an impressive performance from the Jamaica. From the off, they came with a different intent. They matched up so well against England. They got more confident in terms of the feed to fouler. England have moments, but so many changes again this evening. They just never seem to settle. I think defensively, we've seen them be so effective this week. They allowed Jamaica to get too confident in that game, and unfortunately left themselves way too much to do. But a great injection again with someone like Amy Carter and George Fisher. Eleanor Cardwell, I think, had a brilliant game, but just too little too late for them.
Well, you could see the disappointment on some of the England faces as they take a hit and a defeat to Jamaica. Jess Thirlby came to take on Connie Francis. England came to take on Jamaica. And it's the Sunshine Girls that won out by 4 goals here in London on this final match of the penultimate day of the Vitality Netball Nations Cup. Laura Malcolm thanking the fans that came to London here today. Many of them will be back tomorrow when England take on South Africa. But player of the match is down on courtside with Gail Davis.
Thanks very much, Kath. Well, Shanice Beckford, you are breathing very, very heavily, aren't you? You won, but that was a lot closer than it needed to be, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
How did you see it out in the end? Because there must have been nerves amongst you in that final quarter.
Yes, it was, but I know my team, once we keep the discipline and once we stick to the game plan, I know that we will come out with a win.
Overall, how impressed were you with the way you came back from that New Zealand performance? We spoke to Shamira Sterling, and she seemed pretty cross and angry after what had happened. How much did you want to put that right today?
To be honest, when we lost to New Zealand, it was a shocker for us because we went out there with a game plan and it didn't work. So we went back to the drawing board. We went back to the simple mistakes that we made and we tried to correct it. And then we know that we had to win this match and get in the finals to catch up with New Zealand in the next game.
And just tell us, we sit on the sidelines and we watch as you and Janelle Fowler keep putting them away. What's she like to play with? Because whenever you get in trouble, you know you've got a 6'7" target. You're pretty lucky, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Janelle is awesome. She's an awesome captain. She leads and she's a monster in there. So I'm okay putting up the balls. Even when we pass it back, she ensured that she go up for it.
So just finally, another crack at New Zealand tomorrow. You said you've learned from your mistakes. You've probably seen how South Africa pushed them earlier today. How excited are you about the prospect of taking them on and perhaps getting one of them?
I mean, we're very excited. I think that we were unlucky in the first game, so we want to clear up our mistakes, so we're going out there with fire tomorrow.
Well, very, very many congratulations. Well played today. You are our player of the match. Well played, Shanice. Jess, could have probably done with that game going on a few more minutes, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's the problem when you're playing a team that have got a quick route to goal. Obviously, I'm super impressed. All I asked from them was to play that final 15 in a match within itself and close the gap. They certainly responded to that, but you just can't give a team like Jamaica a lead like that, and it's very difficult to close down. But what an effort in that last 15 minutes.
And the start was good too, almost neck and neck for that first quarter. So what have you got to look at in the middle 2 quarters?
Yeah, you know, we only lost the first 3 quarters by 4 goals, and I think we actually won a lot of ball in that opening quarter against the tower that is Janelle Fowler, and I was actually really impressed that we did that. But I think we know that throughout the journey this week that we need to keep minimising our errors, we need to reward those turnovers. Actually, our centre pass to goal was really quite high in the first half, so it was just a case of capitalising. The ball that we stole off them, we gave them too many back. That's the problem, and you just can't afford to be in the negative on that. So yeah, that's our work on, really.
Yeah, and why does that happen? Is it inexperience? Is it people just learning to play alongside each other? Is it selection? It's hard, isn't it? You sit here now and you're so emotional and you're so in it. When you take a step back, how do you put that right?
Yeah, I think there's most probably an element of all of the above. You know, the likes of Chelsea have only been with us the last couple of weeks, so when you're expecting team cohesion right now, that's really tough. And I think the thing that's impressing me most is I've been able to make some changes. People have run out there. Razia Kwashi got more time out there today, which was brilliant. I thought Amy Carter again entered the game and did a fantastic job. Eleanor Cardwell was pushing, I think, for player of the match despite being on the losing team. So there's lots of learning out there, but I think, like you say, it's just a case of keep building. We finished the game strongly. Tomorrow's going to be really tough. We really wanted to get in the first v second, but ultimately you've got 2 finals here, and I think they're going to be really tight. And I'll just keep going back to the drawing board. The girls are responding really well in training, and it is sometimes you just can't accelerate certain things. And today, I think tactically we stuck to task. There was nothing out there we didn't know. It just takes a while to get the real learning and cohesion needed to actually take these teams.
Thanks, Jess. You do get another chance, don't you? Tomorrow we will see you against South Africa. Connie, come and join us. I was slightly worried about your heart rate in that final quarter. Are you okay?
I'm okay. The girls tend to do this quite often. Yeah.
And I guess the question is why? Because it looked like you had won this game with so much to spare. How did you allow England back into it?
I thought we get a bit careless with the pass. I know that fatigue has set in because our attacking team becomes stagnant, and we weren't looking in as you know, sticking to the game plan. But now I thought that the initial stage of the game, we decided to go out there and to dominate and to take England out of the crowd, because they're a very rowdy, vocal crowd, and it was important for us to go out there and to get a lead. And it's so good that we can get a lead and hold on to win.
How proud are you of the way your side put the disappointment of New Zealand behind them? We spoke to Shamira Sterling and she was absolutely gutted by the result and the performance, and you've obviously harnessed that in them today.
She has to be able to handle it. At her level of the game, she has to be able to weather the storm, and I thought that she did. She knew that she had to come out there fighting. She's our top defender with a young defensive lineup. But I thought that yeah, it is important for us as a team to shake off the whatever happened before and to come back fighting again, because the thing is that we don't have much time to bemoan it, so it's about moving on.
And excited, no doubt, about getting another crack at New Zealand tomorrow.
Very excited. I know that they're a very good team. We know that we are up against world-class netballers with a young squad also, but we are going to give it our best. You know, it's all about leaving it on the court, and I think that the girls will.
Well done today. We look forward to a fabulous final tomorrow. Thanks, Connie.
So, some good, honest talking from both head coaches, Jess Thirlby and Connie Francis. They'll go back, they'll evaluate, and they will come back tomorrow for the final day of action in this Vitality Netball Nations Cup. And this is how it's going to line up. Live only on Sky Sports. England take on South Africa again for the third place playoff from 2:15 on Sky Sports Mix and online. And then the final, New Zealand and Jamaica go head-to-head again from 4:45 on Sky Sports Mix and online. Nearly done. We'll have more analysis of today's match after the break.
GD must stand for good dog. You're too kind. Oh, it's gone straight through. Hard luck.
One of the stars of today, Shamira Sterling, doing a bit of babysitting. She's multi-talented. I need her at my house, actually. She was brilliant today and is a force to be reckoned with on the court. Incredible defence, having their stretch. And Jess, they'll be speaking to the captain, Nat Haythornthwaite. Tamsin, Pam, the team will be bitterly disappointed not to make the final against New Zealand tomorrow.
Yeah, of course they will be. It was always going to be a difficult week for them. I actually thought they'd come out victorious this evening, but it was fair play to Jamaica. They came out absolutely fighting. They've improved across the week. England almost got back in the game, but it was just too little too late, especially with someone like Fowler.
Definitely, and we said it at the start, if Jamaica get a sniffing, if they get that little bit ahead, if they know they've got on top of England, they will then push on forward for that. And they were able to do that because they all just geared up. Beckford, that got player of the match today, I said I wanted to see a little bit more from her after Wednesday. Didn't want to see it in this game, but she brought it, and she had that extra oomph in that attacking end for Jamaica, and that's what helped. And when you got Fowler at the back and the ball just flying in, what can you do?
Stats from the game, what pings out, Tamsin?
Well, England did have more attempts in the end, but both shooting percentages were pretty good. I think the intercepts from Jamaica, a lot of that down to Sterling out the front. Interestingly, in that last quarter, I thought England totally tore their defence end apart, but they'd done such a good job up until that point. it was so difficult for England to keep clawing it back.
Okay, so Jess said at the beginning of today's match that after every game it's about resetting. So the Roses have to reset ahead of playing South Africa tomorrow. A pretty good record over the last few matches. They won the Test Series in November 2-1, and then we beat them, didn't we, on match day 1 of this Nations Cup. Tomorrow, Pam, what will the mindset be, and what do you expect in terms of the 7 that are picked to start?
Well, I'm hoping with the 7 you'll see Amy Carter get a start, because she's come in and she's performed really well. I think she deserves a start.
So that's development, is it?
Development.
Well, progression. You heard we talk about progression. If it truly is progression, surely you're going to put on the players who perform.
Exactly.
And Carter's one of those.
Definitely one of them. And you talk about coming off the back of today. They'll be hugely disappointed about today. The aim was to get into that final, but you have to put it behind and you have to start again the next
Progression,
time.
who's starting in the attack end? Who's goal attack? Who's England's goal attack?
You've got to keep Haythornthwaite at wing attack,
Yes.
which means it's got to be Ellie Cardwell and it has to be George Fisher at the back. And I think then you make changes as it goes along. If that means Haythornthwaite has to go into goal attack at some point to relieve some pressure, fine. But I still think that's the strongest circle.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I think Haythornthwaite, when she has come on a goal attack, it's a different thing for her.
And look, Cardwell's been exceptional. I think she's better in shooter? Of course I do, and I'd love to see her there. But the problem is you haven't got the luxury of that now. You need to go out to win tomorrow. You don't want to finish last in this competition. Who's been your strongest shooting circle? I think Fisher and Cardwell on there make changes, because you know Pretorius is getting on top of her, absolutely fine. But I wouldn't start in a weak away round and preempt that.
Okay, defensively, we'll move on to that in just a moment. But George Fisher came on, and certainly an impact player today, Pam.
Yeah, she did, and I think she was really strong under the post. And Ellie Cardwell was on song today. She was psyched up, and coming on with George Fisher playing with her, she fed off that. And I think she had some good holding in that circle. She was able to pop for the balls, but then she was there under the post ready if she was needed.
And just a quick word is
go on, sorry, no, go. No, you go, Di.
Okay.
Sorry, that's me. I was going to pick up
In terms of defence, it's okay, we're friends. In terms of defence, what's the message from Jess Thirlby tonight?
Well, it's a different prospect tomorrow because they're not got Fowler, so you know it will look very, very different. If they know how to play against both styles, so they know how to play against the moving goal attack of Rademan, and they'll know how to play against Venter and Potheater as well. I'd like to see Fran Williams get out there. I'm not sure she will now, but I think, again, Francis has been the strongest goalkeeper, so why work her out when you've got capable goal defences out there? And I think Williams does deserve a shot, especially if you go back to November when she did such a great job against them.
Yeah, she was brilliant. Now, my friend, Shamira Sterling, how much of a pain was she today, Pam?
Oh, she got feisty, didn't she?
She did.
Really good. But it was good to see from her. Each time she steps on that court, you can just see her grow and relish, and she's just coming out. Look at that intercept there. Well, she's hassling the wing attack. She was on good in that whole time in that first quarter, and even throughout the game, she just did not tire.
No, and hello, goal defence.
Yeah.
You know, people love her at goalkeeper because she's so rangy. She comes out with all the cool intercepts, the flicks and the tips and the shot. She was brilliant at goal defence today. She's getting better and better and better.
Okay, well, it all sets up nicely for tomorrow. England take on South Africa again, and that's our first match on Sunday at 2:15, Sky Sports Mix and online as well. And then the final is New Zealand, the world champions, against Jamaica at 4:45. Girls, predictions for both games?
New Zealand, England.
Ditto. New Zealand, England. I think England will learn from today, come out again stronger. They've got that experience. In New Zealand, they're just on form.
Will the England Roses bloom tomorrow? And who will win in the final? We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.